Hi, I'm Michelle Friedman, owner and clinical director of Atlantic Physical Therapy. Today I'm going to go through a short hip opening yoga flow that's appropriate for all levels of yoga, and I'll offer some modifications. Today's program is designed to both stretch and strengthen the hip adductor muscles, your inner thighs, and also your outer thighs, your piriformis muscles, which externally rotate the hip. So we're going to go through some movements today. I'm going to offer some modifications. It's great if you have some blocks like this by you. If not blocks, you can always use pillows or books or any other props that you have that can help you make your arms a little bit longer and reach the floor. So today we're going to get started in a child's pose position. So you're gonna flip over, and I like to bring my big toes to touch and my knees apart. If it's more comfortable for you to do this with your knees together, go for it. And then just settle down into your mat and just start to pay attention to your breath right here. So you can either keep your forehead down on the mat or one cheek to the mat, whatever is most comfortable for you. To start to settle in, this pose can be uncomfortable and you might have to shift a little bit to get your knees either closer together or apart to find a space that feels good, that you can really start to settle into and stop fidgeting. So once you find a good position that you can hang out for a few minutes, start to notice your breath here. And just pay attention to where you're inhaling. Are you inhaling through your nose? Are you inhaling through your mouth? Just start to feel where that breath goes. Do you feel your belly expand? Do you feel your back expand? Do you feel your butt expand? And without trying to manipulate it at all, just notice what happens to you when you're not trying to manipulate your breath, what your natural breathing pattern is. Is your breathing sharp and slow or fast? How would you describe your breath? And just notice where you are now, and now we're going to start to manipulate that breath and draw it down deeper into your pelvic floor. So with your next inhale, I want you to pretend your butt cheeks are two balloons, and you're inhaling and inflating your butt cheeks with your next breath, and exhaling, release everything back down. Your chest just sink further down to the floor. Inhale, fill those balloons. Exhale, deflate those balloons. I'm going to start counting out your breaths here. And we're going to progressively make your exhales longer to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. So start to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Studies show that doubling the length of your exhales to your inhale ratio helps relax
your whole body, increase parasympathetic nervous system reaction, which is what we want. We need that nice settling in, relaxing feeling here. So whenever you're feeling stressed or anxious, feel free to come back to that low, deep, slow exhale. All right, let's start to move a little bit. So I'm gonna have you press yourself up to a tabletop position. Set yourself up so your hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. Shoulders are puffed out away from you, and then we're gonna do some cat-cows here. So you're gonna inhale, look up, arch your back. Exhale, look down, round through your back. Inhale, send your chest through the window of your arms. Exhale, release all the air in your belly, look down, exaggerate the roundness in your back. Inhale, up, cow back. Exhale, round, calf back. 2 more. Inhale, tailbone lifts up. Exhale, tailbone rounds down. Last set. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round down. Good. Meet me in a nice neutral tabletop somewhere between the cat and the cow, and start to tuck your toes under. I'm going to show you from the side, like that. And then start to sit back into a funky version of child's pose, and you'll feel a stretch in the bottom of your feet. Take a few seconds to rock back and forth like that, stretching the bottom of your feet out, stretching your plantar fascia, which is the tissue that runs in the bottom of our feet that can often get tight. Good, and one more. Stay back there, walk your hands one hand print out, and we're gonna press up into a downward dog, lifting butt first, hips first. So lifting your butt, sending your chest as low towards your thighs as possible. And because this is our first one, I just want you to pedal out your feet for a second, feeling a nice stretch in your calves. Perfect. Good. And start to find some stillness. Take a deep bend to your knees, send your chest as low as you can, and then start to drop your heels down. Here you want to prioritize having a flat back, so make sure you bend your knees enough to maintain a nice flat back. If you start to straighten out your knees, you might start to round through your back. So just be really cautious here in prioritizing that flat back. Keep your knees bent as much as you need to achieve that. Good. Just a ripple forward to a high plank. Shoulders are puffed out, elbows are spinning forward, hands are gripping the ground, and then gently lower your knees back to the ground. Keep your toes tucked under. Sit back, funky child's pose. We're gonna repeat that and do that little flow. So press up, down dog, ripple forward, high plank, lower your knees, tabletop, sit back, funky child. Down dog, ripple forward, high plank. Notice my shoulders are strong, puffed out. Tabletop, child's pose. So we're just starting to set up a beginner vinyasa flow. Down dog, one more time. High plank, tabletop, child's pose. Okay, now you're gonna press back into your down dog, and now we're gonna lift our right leg up into the air for a 3-legged dog. And we usually do this and turn out our hip. I want you to close your hip, level out everything, and bend your right knee, and start to draw some circles. You might move through kind of a fire hydrant position. Give me 3 big circles clockwise, and then 3 circles counterclockwise. Good. And lower the right leg down. Same thing left side. Open up the hip. Find your squareness to your hip. Left toe faces the floor. Bend your knee and start to circle out that hip, making big circles. 3 clockwise. 3 counterclockwise. Perfect. Find your down dog, and slow as you can, start to walk your hands back towards your feet until you're fully standing on your feet. Once you achieve that, start to bend your knees enough so your chest connects with your lap. Cross your elbows, and we're going to sway here. It's called ragdoll pose. Keep that connection. Let your head get heavy here. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs, your calves, your hamstrings. Maybe flutter out your lips here, making a raspberry. Maybe taking a lion's breath where you stick out your tongue and go just to release any tension you have in your face. Good, start to find some stillness. Roll up. 1 vertebrae at a time. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands to prayer over your head, and then swan dive forward. Have your hands meet the ground. You might have to deep bend your knees too to do that, and then walk back out. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Knee bends, and you're gonna hover forward to your plank and bring your right knee to your right elbow. And then press back, 3-legged dog. Hover forward, right knee to elbow, press back, downward facing dog, 3-legged dog. One more time, knee to elbow. And this time, instead of going back to that 3-legged dog, you're gonna step your right foot to the right outside of your right hand, and then step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, and now we're in a nice malasana or yogi squat. So you might have to shift around here, find a nice position, try to keep your heels on the ground. If this isn't comfortable for you, you feel like you can't hold this, you can always take a yoga block and sit it under your bottom and do it this way. So I'm gonna take my yoga block out. I might have to go wider than that's width here. Find your nice comfortable position. Take your elbows and press your elbows into your knees, and then use that connection and press your knees back into your elbows and lift your chest a little higher. We're gonna reconnect with our breath here and deep breathe all the way down to our butt cheeks. So this is a good position to show you what I mean by our pelvic floor. Our pelvic floor are all the muscles that support bowel, bladder, sexual function, and they kind of operate like a hammock here. So they rest here parallel to our diaphragm, which rests like right under our rib cage. So when our diaphragm, which works by descending and pulling air pressure into our lungs, when it descends like that, our abdominal contents push down and give our pelvic floor a nice stretch. So a lot of us tend to hold tension in our pelvic floor, or butt clenchers, clench everything. So this is a nice way and a nice position to push our pelvic floor down with each breath. So come back to a nice deep breath and feel the descent of your pelvic floor. Breathe into your butt cheeks, nice and slow. Remember that thing we did in the beginning where we make our inhales half as long as our exhale. So think about doing that. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3,
4, nice pelvic floor descent. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna take a break from this position. I know it can be intense. Place your hands down on the floor or onto blocks. And you're gonna stand up, and as you stand up, you're gonna take your toes from outward pointing to parallel into a forward fold. Beautiful. Roll all the way up, hands overhead. Swan dive forward, hands plant down. We're gonna step back, right foot, left foot to a plank, and then downward dog. Good. This time left leg is gonna open up to a 3-legged dog. You're gonna shift forward to a plank and bring your left knee to meet your left elbow, and then press right back to 3-legged dog. That's 1. We're gonna do 3 times like this. Knee to elbow, 2. Knee to elbow, 3. And this time we're gonna step that left foot to the outside of our left hand. Step right foot back to the outside of our right hand. We're back in Malasana. This time we're gonna take some twists here. So you're gonna plant your right hand down, open your left arm up, twist open. Feel your thoracic spine, twist and lift, gazes over your left hand. Breathe deep here. Good, start to plant your left hand down, right arm opens up. Keep breathing into your pelvic floor, keep twisting open to your right side. Beautiful, plant both hands down. Stand up, toes turn in. Forward fold, roll slowly up. Take a deep breath in. Fold back forward, hands plant down, step back to plank, press back, downward facing dog. Should be a little bit more open now. Slowly ripple forward to a plank. Drop your knees down, and we're gonna get ready for a frog stretch, which is a pretty intense stretch for your inner groin or thigh. So I'm gonna show you from the side, and you might wanna do this on the side of your mat too, because it can be intense for sensitive knees. So a full frog is almost like a child's pose, but knees are apart this time. So I'm gonna have you lower yourself down to your elbows and start to slide your knees apart. Feeling a deep groin stretch. If that feels like way too much for you, you can always do one side at a time. My right leg is out, or left leg is out one side at a time. I'm gonna do both here. And as we settle in yoga, we learn to start to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So it's a pretty deep and intense stretch. And when we're uncomfortable, there's a tendency to shorten our breath. So we're gonna return to that deep, long, slow breathing. Let your head get heavy here. I'm gonna count it out. We're gonna do that same ladder we did in the beginning. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Start to make your way back up to a tabletop, straightening out arms, sliding your hips together. Turn back around. Take a few cat-cows here to reset. Good. And when you're ready, you're gonna walk your hands, one hand print forward, tuck your toes under, press back, downward dog. We're gonna let our right leg lift this time and bring your knee to your nose. And this time we're gonna step our foot between our hands. If that's too much, you can always use blocks, and then lower your back knee down and start to just sway front to back of your mat. Good. Beautiful. Pause in that forward position. Start to pull your right hip back, left hip forward, and rise up to a low lunge. And then raise both arms into the air. Inhaling to lengthen through your arms, exhaling, reaching your shoulders down away from your ears. Keeping your right hip pulled back, left hip foot fold forward, lunge forward a little bit, and you'll feel a deep stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. Good. Keep inhaling to lengthen. This time we're going to drop our right arm down, bring our left arm across for our deeper version of that hip flexor stretch. Keep pulling your right hip back. Good. Keep your low belly active here. Good. Reach back up. This time we're going to twist open to the right side of your room for an even deeper version of that stretch. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Grab your blocks. We're going to set up for a runner's stretch. So you're going to slide your right leg forward, straighten out your knee, pull your right hip back, use your blocks to extend through your chest, and then sink forward, keeping a nice flat back. This is a pretty deep hamstring stretch, and even neural glide for your sciatic nerve that runs down your leg into your foot. Keep inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Good. Make it juicier by pulling your right toes up towards you. Good. When you're stretching, keep in mind that on a scale 0 to 10, you should be working at like a 4 or 5 range. As far as like pain and stretch goes, you don't want to be working to the point where you feel like you can't breathe and talk normally. Good. A few more breaths here. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Maybe with subsequent stretches, you drop your blocks down or even get rid of them, depending on your flexibility and what feels good to you. Good. Start to re-bend that front knee. Walk your hands back out to the ground. Tuck your back toe under. Step back. Down dog. Left leg lifts. Bend your knee. Bring your knee to your chest and step your foot between your hands. If it doesn't go there on the first time, just wiggle it forward. Lower your back knee down. Start to rock back and forth here. Warming up all the front and back of our hip muscles. Okay, find a neutral place. Pull your foot towards your knee, knee towards your foot, and then rise up to a low lunge. Raise your hands up. Pull your left hip back this time, right hip forward, and shoulders down away from your ears, keeping a nice long neck. Lunge forward. Breath in. Deep breath out. It should be a nice right hip flexor stretch, the front of our right thigh. Good. Left hand drops down. We're going to side bend
up and over to deepen that stretch. And this can be intense for some people's knees. You can feel free to use a cushion or a pillow or fold your yoga mat under your right knee here. Good, find some length here. Come back up. Bring both arms up. Twist open to your left. Raise both arms up. Plant your hands down. Tuck your back toe under. Press back. Downward dog. Good. Right leg lifts. Bend your right knee. Pull it through. Step your foot between your hands. Lower your back knee. Untuck your toe. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. It's called a gate pose. So you're going to take your left knee and turn it to the side. So your back shin is parallel to the back of the mat. And then you're going to slide your right front of your foot forward. So now we're facing the left of your room. And this is called a gate pose. So we're going to just sway side to side. Left arm comes up and over. And right arm comes up and over and reaches for the back. Just to start to stretch out our right inner thigh here. Sway. We're gonna make a little circle here. So on the next time you're towards the back of your mat, you're gonna plant both hands down, come onto your right toes and press back, down dog to the back of the mat. Good. We're gonna lift our left leg up, knee comes to your chest, step it through, low lunge, take your right leg, spin it to the parallel of the front of your mat, rise up, straighten your left leg. We're in a gate pose to the left of the room. And we're gonna start to sway side to side. I imagine myself being like a big willow tree here. Beautiful. Stretching your left inner thigh as you go to the left. 2 more times. Good. On the next one, you're going to plant your hands down to the front of the mat, spin onto your left toe, press back, down dog. Beautiful. Right leg lifts. This time, bend your knee, send it to this core plank, knee to your chest, and then you're going to take your right ankle and bring it as close to your left wrist as possible. We're going to set up for a pigeon pose. Lower your hips down, untuck your back left foot, pull your right hip back, left hip forward. Maybe you walk your hands in, take a nice proud chest, deep breath here. And then exhale, lower yourself, maybe down to your elbows, maybe a block under your chest, maybe a block under your hip. So they're pretty deep. External rotation, piriformis stretch, glute stretch. So you should feel this one a lot in your outer right butt cheek. We're gonna just hang out for a minute and breathe here. I like to keep a block under my chest here to support myself. Return to your nice, deep, slow breath sequence. Try to make those exhales twice as long as your inhales. Try to focus your breath into all the areas that feel tight. Try to incorporate some meditation, so if thoughts come up for you, take them, put them in a box, come back to your breathing. Can you use these few seconds we have here to just think about where your breath is? Can you let go of any tension in your face, in your neck, in your chest, in your butt, to sink lower to the floor? start to walk your hands back in. We're gonna come out the way we came in. Move any blocks that you had supporting you. Tuck your back toe under. We're gonna press back right into a three-legged dog and just shake out your hip a little bit. Whatever feels good. Plant your right foot next to your left, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Left leg lifts. Bring your knee to your chest through a core plank, and this time the left ankle goes as close to right hand as possible. Lower your back leg down. Make sure you peek back at your right leg to make sure it's right behind you. Toenails are on the floor. Walk your hands in. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale. Lower yourself down. Maybe set yourself on blocks up as you need to. One side might be different from the other. That's very often the case with most people. One hip will be a lot tighter. Just like we have dominant arms, we have dominant hands, or dominant legs. And so we might not be using our hips equally, so one might be tighter than the other. And that's perfectly normal. You might have to set yourself up a little bit differently, side to side, depending on how open each hip is. And again, come back to that breath. Move slow. Try to let go of anything you're still holding onto. Maybe flutter your lips or take a lion's breath, whatever feels good right here. And focus your breath on those tight spaces, anywhere you feel like you might need to open up. Two more deep breaths. Start to walk your hands back in. Tuck your back toe under. Press back. Three-legged dog. Shake out the hip. Good. Plant your legs down. And now I'm going to have you cross your right ankle over your left, so you're in like a crisscross down dog. And walk yourself back until you're on the floor. Crisscross applesauce position. Good. Move your blocks out to the side, but you might need them, so keep them handy. And we're going to take our right leg and kind of cradle it like a baby, shaking your hip side to side. And then plant it down, right ankle over left knee. And if there's a lot of space here, you can always wedge a block to support yourself. And then try to sit up nice, tall, long spine. If you're already feeling a pretty deep stretch in your hip, you can just stay right there. Or if you want to try, you can start to hinge forward for a seated version, essentially, of pigeon or log. I think this is called log pose, because your legs are stacked like logs. But breathe into those tight spots. Very similar to pigeon. I'm getting a big piriformis and glute stretch here. Good. Sit back up, uncross your legs, shake them out in front of you. And we're gonna cross them the other way, so this time left ankle comes into your arms. Cradle it like a little baby. And then when you're ready, plant your left foot or ankle on top of your right knee. Deep breath in to grow long, exhale to fold rise back up. Shake out your legs. And now this time legs are gonna come out long. If you find yourself not able to sit like this and maintain a tall back, you can always prop a block under your butt. Give your hamstrings some length, looks like that. Good. Whatever works for you. You're gonna take a deep inhale here. Find a nice tall back. Exhale, walk your fingers forward. Keep a nice tall back, fold forward. And you're gonna get a nice adductor and hamstring stretch here. Hamstrings are the backs of our thighs. Inhaling for length. Exhaling to fold a little deeper. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Good. Start to rise up. We're going to rest our left arm on our thigh or in front of our thigh, whatever feels good. Right arm reaches up and over. We're going to take a nice side bend stretch here, reaching for our left foot. You see some yogis easily grab their foot. I'm not one of them. And you should feel a nice QL stretch here. It's a nickname we give for the quadratus lumborum muscle that runs from the back of our rib cage to our pelvic bones. Breathe into those tight spaces. Rise up, switch sides, whatever you did on one side, try to do on the other. And reach up and over towards your right foot. Breathing into your left side body. Reach back up. That's one I like to do all the time because those muscles get tight on a lot of people. All right, bring your legs forward. We're gonna start to wind down by bringing our feet together, knees apart, bound ankle pose. Lower yourself to your back. This way so you can see me. And if this is too intense of a stretch, the supine bound angle, you can always use blocks under your knees here for a more supported position. And if you've ever practiced yoga before, you usually end in Shavasana pose, essentially this with your legs straight. I like to sometimes do this one because it feels better for me. So we're gonna end today in Supta Baddha Konasana or supine bound angle pose, arms by your sides, close your eyes. And start to reconnect with your breath, slowing everything down. Taking these last few breaths to meditate, which means just not thinking about anything else besides your breath right here. And when you feel ready, start to roll over onto your favorite side. Keep your eyes closed for a second. Take a second to thank yourself for showing up and making it to this point. And when you're ready, start to press yourself up into a seat. Thank you all for practicing with me today. I hope your hips and legs feel a little bit more open, and then generally you feel more relaxed and at peace. All right, namaste. Again, I'm Dr. Michelle Friedman of Atlantic Physical Therapy. Thank you for joining me today.